Hi, my name is Salif. In this video, I will walk you through a cybersecurity project I built using Microsoft Azure. The project is a HoneyPot style SOC lab where I deploy a vulnerable virtual machine to the open internet and monitored real-world attacks. The purpose of this project was to demonstrate my skills in cloud security, log analysis, and CMS monitoring. Now let's quickly check the project diagram. So here you can see in the left side the public internet. So this is the place where all attacks are going to come from, and then in the right side you can see my Microsoft Azure cloud environment, which contain the resource group. The resource group basically is a large folder which contain all the resources I'm going to use for this project. Here you can see the virtual network, and then inside the virtual network we have the virtual machine. So this is going to be my honeypot. I have misconfigured the security setting inside this VM to make it vulnerable. And then here you can see the network security group. So this is supposed to be the firewall that protect the VM, but I have misconfigured this network security group as well to allow attacker scanning the internet. They will be able to see the vulnerable machine, and they will try to log in. So by doing so, all the logged attempts are going to be collected and sent to the log analytics workspace. So all the logs are going to be sent to the Microsoft Sentinel, the CMS, and this data will be used to understand and plot a visual representation of each attacks. As you can see from this word map, it will be easy to understand where each attack come from. Okay, now let's go back to my Microsoft Azure account. Here you can see the resource used in this project. You can see the resource group, the virtual machine, the log analytic workspace, network security group, the virtual network, and the Azure workbook. So let's click on the resource group. Okay, so this contains all the resources used in this project. So let's check the virtual machine. So basically this is the virtual machine, is the vulnerable machine, and let's see if it's up running. So we can check here. So basically this is a virtual computer. It contains all the components to allow any user to use this machine and perform daily task. You can see here we have the size, CPU 2, and then 8 GB, and then we can see the disk and more information about this virtual machine. So if this is the public IP address assigned automatically to this virtual machine, so we can log into this virtual machine using RDP, and this is what I'm gonna do now quickly. So let's open and then pass the IP address, and then now we need to type in the password. So okay, so now we are going to log in. So let's type yes, and so now it's going to open. So yes, so this is basically I'm inside now the virtual machine, and we can quickly check the firewall setting, which I already disabled. Okay, so we can write and quickly go to Window Defender Firewall, and we can click on Window Defender Firewall property, and we can you can see here I already disable. This is off, and then private profile is off, public profile is off. So this means this machine currently is vulnerable, and we can also ping this machine just to see if any attacker can see it on the internet. So if we can ping it, so this means attacker will be able to see as well. So I will minimize this, go back to my computer, and then I will open the command prompt, and then I will ping now, right? Okay. Okay, you can see the result of the ping. So this means this virtual machine is up running on the internet, so anyone on the internet can reach this machine. So probably they are already making login attempts. So let's close this now. Okay, so now let's go back to the resource group and let's check the network security group settings. So you can see here, so I have created a custom rule. So these are default rule which are never going to be triggered, because the custom rule I created is first and has priority 100. This custom rule basically is allowing any device to connect to the machine using any port. So source any, source port range any, destination any, source the rule is a custom, and then destination port range is any as well, asterisk mean any, and then the port any port, UDP, TCP, and then ICMP v4. So all these are allowed, and then the action is allowed, and then priority 100. So this means so these default, these custom rule is going to be triggered first. So this is the inbound security rule. These are the inbound security rule which I changed to make the machine vulnerable. The outbound security rule are not changed because they are not important, relevant to this project at the moment. So I didn't change them. Okay, now let's go back to the resource group and check other components. So we can see the network interface. This is used to connect to the virtual network. We have the disk, the log analytical workspace. So basically this is inside the Azure Sentinel CMS. So if we go and check for Sentinel, so Sentinel and then Microsoft Sentinel, we can click on this, and then you can see here already has the log analytical workstation included, which I created before. Okay, now if we click on this, then we can go in logs, wait a little bit. So basically this is the place where all logs collected from my virtual machine, the vulnerable virtual machine logs, are going to be stored in this place. Then we can query the logs using KQL mode. So KQL, basically this is a query language used in Microsoft Azure to query Microsoft Log Analytics, Azure Log Analytics. So this is a powerful tool we can use to filter all the logs we have collected from a device. So for example, if we type in a security event here, security event, so and then run this, so this will bring in all the log collected in the last 24 hours in this case, and you can see how many logs we have. You can see, and so we can write a different query to search what we are looking for. For example, let's run this specific query. So basically this is gonna, if we run the first two line, so this is gonna search all event ID 4625, which are fail attempt to log in, and we can check them quickly. You can see here, so we still have many. So this means many people are currently trying to log in to my vulnerable machine, virtual machine. So we can, if we run this entire query, so it's gonna summarize by IP address and sort them out. Okay, so let's quickly check the result. Here you can see, so this IP address have tried like 10,863 times to log in. So this one have tried 745 times, and so on. So these are, they have tried like one time to log in the system in the last 24 hours. So we can also check the logs from directly from the virtual machine. So if we come back to the virtual machine and then go back to event viewer. We can go in window logs, and then we can go security, and then we can see all the logs here. If you just do Control F, and we can type all the fail login. For example, we can check for a fail login 4625 and then find okay, so these are fail login. We close this, for example, and click in each of these. We can try to search let me see if I can find someone with the name. Okay, so we can search, and let's say another one. For example, this is shown. Let's see if we can find these using Microsoft Sentinel log analysis. So we go back to the virtual so we go back to Azure, and then we have to write a different query so we can search the specific user. So we can, with the name, should be finding this user. So this is a specific user, so we can see this person has tried like a few times to log in with within our system, and we can find the IP address as well. So we can get this IP address if we want to find where these attacks are coming from, and we can go back to, we can just go to Google and type into the we can search for IP location finder, and then you can just type in the IP address here and then run this. It's going to find where this attack is from. So basically this is from the city, Moscow region, and then postal code. So it's giving more information about this login attempt, which is in Moscow. So okay, so let's go back. So basically the Microsoft Log Analytic Workstation is the place where all the logs are going to be stored. We can say is a repository of logs. So the logs were collected from the virtual machine, the exposed virtual machine on the internet. So attackers always scan the internet to find out vulnerable system and try to exploit them. So every attempt to log in the system is going to be collected and sent to the log analytic workstation. So we can check now and see, for example, how many logs. So is a large number, and we can use the KQL language to query these large amount of logs and find out information we are interested. So is a really large number of logs in this case, and we can check here. You can see we have 9,000 logs attempt. We have like many logs. And so Microsoft Sentinel also has something called workbooks. The workbook can be used to create a visual representation of the logs, and in this case I have already created a visual representation of these logs based on the IP address. So, and I will go back to home and show you the representation of these logs. So if we go back to Azure Workbook and click here, and we can have a beautiful representation of the log attempt based on the IP address. So this is showing where all these log attempts are coming from, and you can see we have 1,000 of log attempts in the last 12 hours. Okay, because I deployed these virtual machine a few hours ago, and you can see already how many attempt. You can see the most attack attempt are coming from the Netherlands, so more than 85,000, and then we have Sydney, which is the least, 5,500K. So This is a great project which has helped me to understand a little bit about soccer, and how attacker are so like prepared to find out a vulnerable system in on the internet. So this is making me aware. So how is dangerous, to allow um, vulnerable system to stay on the internet. So this project definitely demonstrates the impact of weak security settings by intentionally misconfiguring the network security group and exposing the VM. I show how quickly attackers discover and exploit vulnerable systems. In a real security operations center, this data will trigger incident response playbook where analysts investigate, escalate, and remediate threats quickly. My project doesn't include the full incident response plan. It focuses on the detection and monitoring stage, login, analysis, and visualization of real-world attack data. So to summarize, now this project gave me hands-on experience in developing a HoneyPot in Microsoft Azure, testing the impact of weak network security group configuration, collecting and analyzing logs with log analytics, using Microsoft Sentinel to build the dashboard, writing a KQL query to analyze attack data, and simulating SOC monitoring workflow. This isn't a complete SOC environment, it's a focused demonstration of attack detection and monitoring.